Now, I don't know what discipline that you practice in as a martial artist, but I do know one thing. At one time or another, given your experience in the sport, you've run into the power of your mind and its effect on performance. Now, Andrea was a young karateka, practiced Okinawan karate, who did great whenever she trained, did great in practice, and when she'd get into competitions, she'd get so nervous that she'd totally fall apart. And interestingly enough, one of the reasons she was getting nervous was because she would spend a lot of time pre-performance worrying about her competition. And the funny thing about her was, if you watched her in practice, she was amazing. She had tremendous technique. Her blocks, her kicks, her movements were precise. And you'd think that this was like that movie Invasion of the Body Snatchers when a competition started up. She was like a completely different athlete. And what's even more striking is she competed in doing the kata, doing movements. She wasn't even sparring with another opponent, but she would psych herself out so much, focusing on them ahead of time, that by the time she got ready to perform her katas, she was a mess. She had already given up. If you don't work on your head, if you don't work on the mental side of your performance, you'll never reach your potential as a martial artist. And one of the things that we worked on was teaching her to keep her focus more on herself and the movements that she was making. Because when you allow your focus to drift to the competition, what ends up happening is you get anxious, you lose your confidence, and you don't perform well. And these problems are so easy to fix. And they're so common because they affect athletes in every discipline in the martial arts. And one must learn to become aware of where your focus goes and how to better control it, which is exactly what we did. Andrea and I worked on her becoming more aware of her pre-performance focus and then during performance focus, so that she started to understand when she was making mental mistakes. And then we taught her how to correct them, how to bring her focus back and get back in the action so she stayed calm and confident and powerful. Now, you can do what Andrea did, and you can work with me one-on-one. You can work with some of the training material that I've developed over the years. Because again, these problems are so common. And because they're so common, I really have felt the need to provide athletes, coaches, and even their parents with a way to understand where the problems come from and how to resolve them. If you have questions about what would work best for you, to work one-on-one, to work with some of the training material, the audios and workbooks, feel free to call, feel free to email me. But let me promise you one thing. If you'd like to take your performance to the next level, if you want to get as good as you possibly can as a martial artist, you have to learn to work on the mental side of your performance. And I want you to know, as I'm talking about this, I practice what I preach. I've been trained and training in the martial arts for the last 20 years. And I have a black belt in Okinawan karate. And I've learned through practice that if you control your mind, you control everything.